Okay, y'all, I thought I would give you an update as to what's going on with these prequels and stuff, and also the future seasons of House of the Dragon Season 2 in general. Let's get into it. All right, so I'll link this article from Deadline in my description box. It talks about a lot of HBO updates. For example, 2025 is what we're looking at for a release date when it comes to Last of Us. So it's like they went through a lot of stuff. So we're getting all this information about House of Dragon from Francesca Orsi. She's the drama chief at HBO. And first she talks about production, and she says, looking forward with all 8 scripts written by Ryan, despite pencils down. Of course, they're referring to the writer's strike. I can say that we're really confident about what we're doing and the team that we have in place for season 2. To be honest, we think that the audience will be just as pleased, if not more. They're just talking about, production is going well and that the cast is amazing and blah, 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 whatever. So we're going to the writer's strike here. Now, they apparently said that filming has not been impacted by the writer's strike. And I'm like, okay. I mean, I think that a lot of companies are trying to assure people that this writer's strike is not going to affect the content or anything like that. And I don't think season 2 will be affected as badly, because I feel like a lot of times writers are on set regardless. Even if scripts have already been done, writers are on set to be able to rewrite things that need to be rewritten for the sake of filming. Because if not, or things that happen in filming, because if not, the script can't be touched, from my understanding. So I think a lot of companies, like we're seeing a lot of companies be in this phase of like trying to assure people like, oh, it's going to be fine, everything's going to be fine. And I can only hope that that's the case. Like I said, season 2 probably won't be affected as badly, but I would definitely be worried about the other seasons. Like, especially if we already had to come together and rewrite, a lot of scripts and stuff for season 2 as it is. So it's just like, girl, I hope that everything comes together. Either way, companies, y'all need to pay y'all writers. Like, that's ridiculous for y'all to have built entire industries and economies off of these, writers, these crew members, cast, whatever, and not pay these people, period. I don't care what y'all talking about. So she goes on, Ryan is following all the rules and of course pencils down, rendering services as the non-writing producer. If there's anything that needs to be rewritten or reshot, we'll handle that after the strike. And obviously there are going to be things, right? So that's the only thing that's like really scaring me. It's like, are we gonna have to come to a decision of like, okay, we just keep the bullshit in there because we can't rewrite anything or reshoot anything, because if in order to reshoot we have to rewrite? I don't know. It's just, she's saying we'll handle that after the strike, and we'll put the resources behind revising what we need to do and reshooting what we need to do if we made any mistakes along the way. So very much like, from the way it sounds, it's like, oh, we kind of have everything under control. Yes, we're not supposed to be, or we can't write right now, but everything will be fine in the future. And I'm just like, okay. Like, all right. So as Deadline reported in March, the initial season 2 plan had been to match season 1's 10 episode run, which was eventually changed to 8 episodes for story reasons. Orsi elaborated on those reasons. So here's what she said. There was some question about the narrative shape of season 2. We were developing it with Ryan and Sarah, and we realized that we were sort of treading water narratively in the middle of the season. So it just felt much more rigorous, much more urgent emotional arc for our characters if we compressed this season. And then that also dictated how we would kick off season 3. So I'm just like, I don't know. On one hand, I'm like, okay. But then on the other one, I'm like, I know that sometimes these company, leaders know how to try and talk. You understand what I'm saying? Like, so you're talking about compressing the season. And, I also saw that they had moved a big battle to season 3 as well. So it's just like, okay, I think really seeing season 2 will give us a really big idea as to how far we can expect the show to go, how good we can expect the show to be, or which direction the show is going. Like, I think season 2 will really show us that. Does that make sense? Okay, and so here Orsi is talking about just rumors on whether or not season 3 has been mapped out and might be greenlit soon. And she said this: "We are mindful of rolling into season 3 more quickly after season 2, but that hasn't been officially sorted out because right now we're just trying to get season 2 off the ground." So it's just like, it sounds like they want season 3 to be coming out really quickly after season 2, like just keep the production going in some kind of aspect. Of course, I'm sure they're gonna take some kind of break, but like, it sounds like that's what they want to do, but they obviously can't be too sure because of this writer strike and just because of the nature of the business. And this is how I'm interpreting it. So also they talk about how many potential seasons. They said with a portion of the plot originally intended for season 2, including a major battle, moving to season 3, like I said, there has been speculation that the series more likely would go to 4 seasons. Condell and Martin have reportedly been going back and forth on whether 3 or 4 seasons would be optimal to tell the full story. Orsi provided a surprising update on that debate. It hasn't been finalized yet. It's still under discussion. And the article was really funny for saying that that's a surprising update. Girl, that is not a surprising fucking update with how y'all be operating, no shade. So it hasn't been finalized yet. It's still under discussion. George and Ryan are going to meet after the writer's strike. They had originally planned to meet before the strike took place, and that was to figure out at what point the series itself was going to end. Is it 4 seasons? I don't think, from where I sit at this point, will be any less than 4, but it could be more. We'll see. So it's just like, okay, to me it just sounds like they have a area, they have a vision for where they want the direction of the shit to go, but like with all the obstacles, including the writer strike, it's gonna be a little difficult to get there, even with how she's trying to like make it sound all sweet and cute. Like, I still think it'll be really difficult if the writer strike is not sorted out, right? Which makes a lot of sense. Companies pay your writers, like I said. So this is the real quick prequel update, Jon Snow update. HBO continues to develop other Game of Thrones prequels. One about Aegon's conquest has been rumored, but Orsi was just saying, like, we are such in the beginning stages of this that it's more of a moot point until we realize them as real contenders for production greenlight. But yes, we're exploring a few worlds in George's canon and body of work. I really want y'all to do Aegon's conquest. Like, y'all have no idea. Like, y'all have no idea. And I just, oh my goodness. There are Game of Thrones spinoffs in the works too, but it's so new, we don't have many scripts on them, so still too early to talk about them. So when she talks about the Jon Snow Kit Harington spinoff, she says this: "We're just working deeply with the writers to get it in shape for potential greenlight, but at this point, no determination on whether it can go all the way." So they still haven't made a decision on this Jon Snow prequel stuff yet. And I really understand why, because like I said before, talking about the Jon Snow prequel series, like, I don't know where y'all gonna go with Jon Snow's story. Like, what y'all gonna do with Jon Snow's story? Like, I mean, the way that y'all butchered it up at the end of the original Game of Thrones series, like, where are y'all going to go with that shit? Like, you're gonna have to be so convincing. And to me, as to just when it comes to like putting forth a reason why y'all making the show in the first place, like, I don't care. Like, girl, y'all could bring back Dany from the dead, anything, but it's like Jon Snow, especially with the way y'all reduced his character at the end. Like, maybe he wants a redemption for a reprise, whatever, and maybe Kit can get that, but I just wish that y'all hadn't butchered everybody's character at the end of Game of Thrones. You know, at the end of Game of Thrones, so that we could bring some of these characters back, or we could have a sequel show that made more sense and wouldn't be so tricky for y'all to figure out, because I don't know what y'all gonna do unless somebody y'all have an idea as to where y'all see Jon Snow and him carrying a show for how long, especially like I said with where his character left off. Then let me know, because unless this Grey Worm coming for his dumb ass, or the Dothraki trying to split him open, I don't understand why we are going to give a fuck. You know, And even then, I barely care. So it's just like, bring back the girls, bring back the dragons, bring back the girls. Don't play with me. Anyway, that's an update on what's going on. Thank y'all so much for watching, and I'll catch y'all later.